welcome back to Lone Star Planner Girl. This is Crystal, and I have something a little bit different for you today. As you can see, this is not my B6 Slim. I have been keeping a little bit of a project a secret. I teased it a little bit over at my Instagram, but in case you haven't seen, I have been working on a little project, and I know it's very glary because of the holographic cardstock. I apologize. But I was kind of really tired of drawing out my spreads every week, as you've seen me doing, and some other things that I was doing that I was not really happy with. So I found a tutorial here on YouTube of how to bind your own books. And it's not like it's a big secret, but I always thought, I guess, that it was a little bit more complicated than it really is. And I will link you the particular tutorial that I used in the box below so that you can see exactly what I did. By C Lemon is her YouTube handle, but I made myself my own Hobonichi, and as you can see, this is not a slim. This is a full B6 size. So this is 5 by 7, and as you can see, or I don't know if you can see, I assume you can see, this is thread bound. I did sew signatures together. You can see the individual signatures here. And I did sew them together with needle and thread, and then I glued the binding, and then I actually used specific bookbinding tape just for some extra sturdiness at the spine, because Lord knows we do handle our planners quite a lot. And I used cardstock as this outside cover. I am keeping it in another cover, but I wanted something similar to a Hobonichi in that, you know, the outside is kind of stiff. And this was just conveniently on sale at Joann's, so this is the one that I got. It's very bright, I know. But what I did basically was went into my Silhouette software and drew my same layout that I've been using in my B6 Slim to where I could print it out on paper. And I used, as you can see, I put in a 3.7 millimeter grid. So this is just some blanks at the front that I will fill up with some useful information. And here is the first month. I went ahead and did not do 12 full months in this one because I would like it to run the calendar year. So I've got March here, and as you can see, this is actually printed. I will show you a blank one. I did do just plain grid pages in between. And you'll see this is just a printer issue. Some of the lines printed darker than others. All the lines are the same in the software, but my printer, for whatever reason, was throwing fits with certain ones. But anyway, this is a the monthly is, I did a 4.0 millimeter grid to match the A6 Hobonichi Techo English planner. And the reason I did that is because then I could do the boxes on an even grid space. The one in the Japanese planner is actually on a 3.5 millimeter. It's a smaller grid space to get to an even number of boxes, and I didn't want to deal with that. So I went ahead and just made this grid a 4.0 grid. This is identical to the A6 English Hobonichi Techo layout. All of the A6 stickers fit, as you can see here. This is a Mandolin Plans A6 original kit, and it fits perfectly. It's just got some extra space here and a little bit of extra space down here, because obviously the B6 pages are bigger than the A6 pages, but I'm fine with that. I like that. I just got tired of drawing in 500 lines for each layout, so I have a bunch of blank layouts for that, and I did make it undated just because I'm not looking, and there my printer threw a hissy fit there. This is Tomoe River paper, 52 GSM. I found out after the fact that JetPens actually sells the 68 GSM individual sheets, which I actually prefer because it doesn't shadow as much or ghost, but I'll know that for next time. I had already ordered this one off of Amazon, so This is the white 52 GSM Chamorro River paper. I order it in packs of 100 sheets of A4, and I think it's like $14-ish on Amazon. And so, yeah, I just printed out a bunch of blank things, and then I will show you my weekly layout. This is identical to how I've been laying out my B6 Slim. This is the 3.7 millimeter grid, and the reason I did that is because I wanted, again, to be able to make my grid space on even grid boxes, and to be the same width as the cousin. The Hobonichi plain notebooks have the 3.7 millimeter grid, so I'm basically just copying them. And I just have a little extra space around the edges because this is the B6 instead of the B6 Slim width. So as you can see, this is the first week. I just did a pen only spread, kind of playing around with it, making sure everything was going to work. These are some Dear Lily's Designs stencils. Didn't put a whole lot on here, just kind of playing around with it. But this is going to be the plan with me for this week. And what I intend to do, I really seriously considered doing just my half sheet layout that I've been doing. But I'm finding occasionally that's too cramped. And so I decided I'd rather have the extra space and not use it than need it and not have it, or have to draw it in, which was kind of what I was trying to avoid to begin with. And I have a whole lot of pages here at the end of just grid paper that I've printed. And what I plan to do is a weekly or daily to-dos back in these pages back here. As you can see, it's a good chunk of my planner. So that is the original plan. I have gone ahead and pre-planned for this week, and I am going to show you, proof is in the pudding, as they say, that these are the same width columns as the Hobonichi Cousin. So this is the week of March 16th through the 22nd, which includes St. Patrick's Day. So of course I have our shamrock set. Gotta have the shamrocks for St. Patrick's Day. This is a kit by Mandyland Plans. And I also have a bunch of her script stickers and various things as well. So we will go ahead and get that done. This is fantastic. It's tape. It comes on a roll, but the whole thing is like Post-it. So fantastic for pre-planning, you know. If you are so inclined. And what am I going to do for, I think I'm going to do this. I think. Now I do have the days of the week written in, as you can see, but I did everything, all the printing very, very light gray rather than a dark color. That way it's not a big deal to cover up when I want to, but it's there if I want to do a pen only spread like I did for this week. I just went over it with pen. And so far I'm really liking it. Printing on Chamorro River paper is a challenge, I'm not gonna lie. My laser printer eats it up like candy. So having it in the laser printer was not an option, which kind of sucks because it prints better than my inkjet printer does, and is obviously a lot cheaper to print with, laser toner being that much cheaper. But I went ahead and printed it in my inkjet, and full disclosure, I did print double-sided. Obviously these pages there's printing on both sides, but for my particular printer I can't use the duplex function. It eats the paper because the paper is so thin. So I had to print one side, and then flip it manually and print the other. And I can lay sticker paper down straight, I promise. I really truly can. It may not look like it, and you may get a glimpse of the top of my head, but there we go. So it was a little bit painstaking to get it all printed out. However, it really wasn't that bad. wish I had, where is my stencil? I wish I knew where my stencil was. I think I left it in the other room. Okay, we'll just use that. It works. Yes. So there's that. I am going to go ahead and lay these down. I decided to, this is such a pretty kit, I decided to go ahead and use these were originally designed for the weeks. But I happen to really like them for when you want to show off a little bit more of this pretty washi of your kids. So it took me probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours to really fiddle the design in my software, printing out multiple test pages and kind of tweaking what needed to be tweaked and that sort of thing. Most of the sort of differing colors of lines and everything that you see is just an issue with my printer, not anything wrong with the file. So yeah, there's that. So it took me probably a good 4 or 5 hours to get the designs done for the grid and then to design the layouts on top of the grids. Like I said, I have the 2 separate grid sizes. I have the 4mm grid for the monthly and the 3.7mm grid for the weekly layout here. But once I did that, it probably only took me, I'm gonna have to factor in I get interrupted by my kids, but like 100,000 times, but probably took me only an hour and a half or so to print the whole book out. But then sewing it together, putting it all in signatures, sewing it together, and gluing it and everything multiple times to let the glue dry and that sort of thing, following the process that C. Lemon lays out in her tutorial videos, took me a couple of days just to get through all of the processes. So, I mean, all in all, it was probably a week or so long process to get this done, and that was working on it every day because I'm slightly obsessive. Who, me? What am I doing? I can just take that off. And I just can't let it lie. Once I have an idea, I gotta work on it until it's done. So that was fun. That was my obsession for the week. And not gonna lie, it was a lot of work, but it wasn't hard. A lot of it was just tedious. For any of you who sew or quilt or knit or crochet, you know, there's a lot of just man hours that go into this type of project. It's not necessarily hard or complicated work. It just sometimes takes forever. So, I don't know how many hours I have in this all told. I really should have kept track. But I don't know if anyone else is like this with their hobbies and projects. But once I got started, I couldn't stop. I stayed up one night when I started finally being able to stitch the signatures together. I stayed up till almost midnight, and that was not intentional. I just sort of, looked up at the clock, and it was almost midnight. So by the time I got everything put away and got to bed, it was after midnight, which sucks when your kids get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. But anyway, like a dog with a bone, just can't let it lie. I really should have kept better track, and I really didn't think about even documenting the process. I was just so kind of single-mindedly obsessed with it that I didn't even document the process, which I know is horrible. I totally should have. I have a couple of pictures of various points of the process, but that's about it, and they're not very good, so I apologize. I should know better than that. I really should. Having a YouTube channel, I should have documented the whole process, but who's got time to charge the iPad when you are obsessed and ready to get going? Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. Oh, I shouldn't have done that. Do I have a pair of scissors in here? That is the next question. Because why would I be prepared for anything, right? I thought I had scissors in here. I think, oops, avalanche. I think I was mistaken. Okay, I don't have scissors in here. I'll figure it out in a second. So, probably do not need those for this. I wonder, just wonder. See, that would be the perfect size. Okay, so we're going to do something a little bit different this time. Because I want to mark 8 to noon, or 8 to 12:30. For school, we are going to use these vertically as time blockers. Anyway, so this is what I have been up to for the last week and a half or so. And yeah, it was a lot of fun and it was really worth it, and I think I will definitely do this again. And the catalyst for this whole situation was, as you all know, I love the Hobonichi, but I don't like the cousin, and the Dave doesn't really do it for me. If they had a B6 size that was basically a weekly planner, basically like the Jibun Techo, and a B6 size on the Tomoe River paper, but the really stripped down, like the new Jibun Techo Mini Light is so close to being it for me. And that's why I've been drawing my own in B6 Slim. And like I said, I just got really tired of drawing it, and I had been looking forward to the Wonderland 222 Studio planner. They are releasing a B6 size this fall for next year, and I really like the layout of their current planner, but it's an A5 size, and that's a little bit big for me. But their layout is basically this. It's a split weekend, so 3 columns per page, and I thought in a B6 size that is the perfect size for me. But they're getting a lot of feedback on their Facebook page recently where people are unhappy having the split weekend, especially people who work weekends or work split shifts or that sort of thing. They need the full equal columns for each day, and I understand that. That's a legitimate reason. I personally don't schedule much on my weekends and try to keep it just for family, so I like doing it this way because it allows me to have a wider column in a smaller space. So I started to get really kind of, not upset, but just kind of like, oh man, I was really looking forward to this B6 planner that they're going to be releasing, but if they change it to equal columns, then these columns are going to get really skinny. And that's going to be a problem for me. So I decided to take matters into my own hands and basically just print and put together and bind my own planner, because that's what you do, right? I just happened, it was just sort of one of those perfect storm type situations where all of a sudden it was, oh, okay, so here's how to bind, and I can print on Tomoe River paper. I've done it before. So yeah, we're just gonna do that. And it's turned out to be a lot of fun. I'm just gonna put a darker green dot here just so that I can differentiate that since they're back to back. Yeah, and so I did this kind of like, okay, can I make essentially the Wonderland planner undated. And sure enough, that's what I've done, and I really like it. For myself, and a friend sort of teasingly asked me if I was going to start selling them now, and the answer is a resounding no. I have zero interest in doing this in bulk. I may at some point clean up the files and list them in my Etsy shop as a downloadable file for sale for, you know, a couple of bucks if you want to be able to do this yourself. But I am not going to make these and sell them. Thank you very much. No. Not going to happen. Oh, and yet again, I need more of a... I need a wider one. I don't like that. Because I need it to go from 3 to 6, and these aren't quite wide enough. Is this? Let's see, that's too wide. Oh, but I can, well... Nope. You know what I'm doing? I'm just going to use a dot. Just going to use a dot for this one. This is a crazy busy week for me, so if you hear me mumbling to myself, that's why. Alright, so dark green, medium green. You know what? No, I want a box for that, and it's just going to have to deal with the fact that it's not the same size. Okay. I believe that's everything I need these stickers for. I will use the rest of those elsewhere, and I will show you what I mean by that. And I found my other school stickers, if you remember. I was like, I know I have another sheet of these somewhere. I was right. I did. I found them. Yeah, so this will cover the rest of the year. I did enough weekly spreads to get through the rest of the year. And enough monthly spreads to get through the rest of the year. So that is fun. Let's see. Trash out. Event sticker. Actually, instead of doing this, because this is an appointment. See, I just changed my mind 500 times. But I never get to use these appointment stickers, so we're going to go with it. Okay, so there's that. We have church. I have nursery this week. For the payday sticker. Probably do grocery shopping this day this week because I'm going to be crazy busy with those two things. Moana, Bible study. So I have my appointment to drop off my consignment stuff on Tuesday. And this is, they do themed stuff for Awana every week. That's super fun for the kids. This is Mr. Potato Head night. They want you to dress your kids up as Mr. Potato Head. Or Mrs. Potato Head, I guess, if that's your thing. so this is my consignment drop off. This is my work shift. And then the sale is Friday and Saturday. And Saturday is their big, everything is 50% off. So not only is it already a really cheap consignment sale, but then on Saturday, everything that's left is 50% off. So you can pick up shirts and pants and shorts and shoes and whatever for like $1. It's amazing. Which is the day that I usually do most of my shopping. I can clothe both of my children for an entire season for around $150, which is amazing. That's shirts, shoes, underwear, coats, Halloween costumes, whatever. All of that is included. So I love this sale. And it's like, it's good stuff too. They inspect the stuff that you drop off. That's why we have drop off appointments, and they have people inspect your stuff. So you're not getting the stuff that's for sale. It does not have holes. It's not stained. It's not from 1975. It's not, it's in good condition, clean, relatively modern. It's not junk, in other words. It's actually stuff that you would want your children to walk out of the house in. So that's always fun. So this is what my week is going to look like. This space up here is for weather. So I will fill in the weather every day. I have, as you can see over here, I have a stencil for different weather patterns, and I will keep track of the temperature. So this is what my week looks like, and then what I'm going to do is come over here to set up, as you can see, I really used it a whole lot this week, but in my defense, it's been a little busy. Set up just a little cute thing for the day. Oh, look at that. It's a bit too long. I actually really like these tweezers in that they've got this straight side that you can rip on when you've lost your stencil like I have. I'll put this up here. Wow, that's not straight. Like so. Maybe this across the top. Because it's cute, that's why. Like so. And I can have my weekly to-dos. I usually only have like Monday through Friday. It's not like I do this every day. So I will do Monday here. In certain days of the week I have more as well. So usually Monday and Tuesday I have a lot. And then Wednesdays not so much, just because that's already a busy day for us. So then this is kind of already set up for my just daily to-do task list. And as I said, I don't typically really do a whole lot on the weekends anyway, so there is that. Oh, and there was one other sticker I was going to use for that, if I can find the right page, seeing as I've lost so many others. No, that was not it. See, this is what happens. You think you've pulled everything out that you're going to need, when in reality, well, this isn't what I was going for, but it will do. We'll just do my to-dos. Okay. Oh, I'm going to put the dates. And there we go. So that'll be my little to-do list. And then this is my weekly view. And as you can see, it fits a cousin kit perfectly. I do have to rip on this side since it's not 4 columns across. But the columns are the exact same as the cousin, so all of the stickers fit. And that's what I've got. So here is my surprise project. Yay! My B6 Hobonichi inspired Tomorrow River paper, hand sewn, lay flat binding. Oh yeah, that's what else. This will lay completely flat, as you can see, just like a Hobonichi and any other, sewn binding planner will. And it's Tomorrow River paper, so yay. So that is the plan with me and my big reveal of my new planner. I hope you enjoyed. If you have any questions, put it down below. I will link all the tutorials that I used to make this down below, as well as a link to the stickers that I used. So thanks so much for watching, and we will see you guys next time.